evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The state's public revenues amounted to more than 7 billion Omani riyals until the end of last July. At the conclusion of its work, the National Green Hydrogen Sector System Readiness Laboratory announces 26 national initiatives. And WIPO confirms filling of several new trademark applications for Omani frankincense products. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The state's general revenues amounted to around 7,154 million Omani riyals until the end of July 2024, decreasing by 29 million Omani riyals compared to the same period last year. The Financial Performance Report on state revenue stated that oil net revenue increased by 9% to 4.38 billion Omani riyals. Average oil prices reached $83 per barrel, while the average oil daily production reached 2,002,000 Omani riyals. Meanwhile, gas net revenue decreased by 18% to stand at 1,090 million Omani riyals compared to 1,329 million Omani riyals in July 2023. Current collected revenues decreased by 120 million Omani riyals to 2,010 million Omani riyals compared to 2,132 million riyals in 2023. Due to increase in development projects, public expenditure increased by 273 million Omani riyals to 6.75 billion Omani riyals, while expenditures from ministries dropped by 28 million to 4.83 billion Omani riyals. The National Green Hydrogen Sector Readiness Laboratory announced 26 national initiatives in the sectors of permits, contractors, manpower, local content, and logistics. More details in the following report.
26 national initiatives were proposed by the Readiness Lab of the National System for the Green Hydrogen Sector at the conclusion of its activities. These initiatives covered sectors such as permits, contractors, workforce, local content, and logistics.
We are at this stage of closing the Ecosystem Readiness Lab for the Green Hydrogen Sector. After a very busy 9 days that have witnessed a participation we started with 127 participants, we reached to more than 160 participants. The number of entities participated both from the government and from the private sector as well increased. We started with a total of 46, we reached to something more than 50, or around 58 entities.
The lab aimed to assess the current national infrastructure in 5 key pillars and its readiness to receive and implement green hydrogen projects. It also developed a plan to bring together the relevant sectors to ensure coordinated movement. The lab's outcomes will contribute to achieving strategic goals, increasing private sector and entrepreneurial investments, realizing added value, and enhancing the readiness of the national system.
The steering committee approved a number of initiatives. In total, we do have 26 initiatives distributed among the 5 pillars. We can announce that there is a good progress in terms of the permits. We are almost there to unify the permitting system, but as well there are a number of initiatives to address the challenges in the logistics sector, in the contracting sector, in the workforce management sector, and in the local content.
Hydrogen Oman, Hydrom, continues to build solid partnerships that support Oman's journey towards sustainable economic diversification. The company is also collaborating with various entities in the public and private sectors to accelerate the development of infrastructure, storage facilities, logistics services, and digital transformation.
The Healthcare Management and Organization Committee discussed the national and integrated strategies, programs, and policies between the country's civil and military health units. The committee reviewed improving the healthcare system, governance of dealing with health products, and pharmaceutical factories to regulate the dispensing of medicines not authorized by the competent local authorities and the challenges and possible solutions for treatment abroad. The committee recommended developing practices and controls that regulate dealing with blood samples sent abroad to ensure the prevention of citizens' health, studying modern medicines with a focus on their quality and giving priority to Omani national factories and institutions. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Dr. Hilal bin Ali Septi, Minister of Health, Chairman of the committee. The World Intellectual Property Organization confirmed that several new trademark applications were filed for Oman frankincense products. This came at the conclusion of the Tamkeen initiative to empower frankincense producers in the Wilaya of Salalah, which was organized by the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion. The Tamkeen workshops covered a variety of topics, including trademark registration, marketing strategies and branding. The ministry seeks to raise the marketing efficiency of Omani frankincense both in the local and international markets and establish a geographical indicator for such products to ensure its economic sustainability. A workshop to reduce carbon reviewed the political framework for registering mitigation projects and issuing carbon reduction certificates. The workshop came to define the governance framework, principles and responsibilities for approving, licensing, calculating and auditing carbon reduction quantities which will be traded locally and internationally. The framework clarifies the criteria for selecting priority projects to issue carbon reduction certificates that can be transferred internationally. Using artificial intelligence in marketing and promoting of products was showcased at a workshop titled Artificial Intelligence and its role in developing small and medium enterprises for entrepreneurs in the Governorate of South Al-Sharqiyya. More details in the following report.
Artificial intelligence has become a very important and powerful tool in today's life. Its unbelievable functions made it among the most used tools around the world. As a result, Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry organized a workshop for entrepreneurs on how to use and adapt artificial intelligence for marketing and promoting their enterprises.
Artificial intelligence is most commonly nowadays. It's in all fields, so it's help us for analyze all data in business field. Also, it's make our life is more easier and better.
The workshop included practical lessons on artificial intelligence applications and its commercial and industrial uses. Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry works on providing all what entrepreneurs need to support their projects and to develop them in order to compete with world-class projects. Sultan bin Saif Sarai from South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate.
In our international news, in the West Bank, 2 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli occupation bombing of a vehicle in the Aqtaba suburb east of Tulkarm city. The raid also caused a fire in a nearby house. The Zionist occupation forces arrested at least 40 Palestinians in a campaign concentrated in the governorates of Hebron and Tobas, while the rest of the arrests were distributed across most of the governorates of the West Bank. The Israeli occupation forces also continued their aggression on the city and camp of Tulkarm and the camp of Nur Shams for the second day in a row, where they caused great destruction to the infrastructure and citizens' property. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that the United States and Britain intend to lift the ban on Ukraine using long-range weapons to attack Russian targets, while pledging to respond to this measure from his country. On the ground, 3 people were killed and others were injured as a result of Russian shelling of the Ukrainian Donetsk region at a time when the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that a Russian missile hit a civilian ship carrying grain in the Black Sea after it had already left Ukrainian waters, indicating that the attack did not result in any human losses. The Ukrainian forces confirmed that they had shot down more than 40 Russian drones that targeted several areas in Ukraine during the past hours. North Korea fired several short-range ballistic missiles in its first such launch in more than 2 months. The missiles were launched early this morning and traveled 360 kilometers before falling into the sea, South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff said. Japan's defense ministry said 2 ballistic missiles were fired from Pyongyang and flew at an altitude of about 100 kilometers. In the United States, Hurricane Francine hit southern Louisiana. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said that the hurricane was accompanied by winds with a maximum speed of 120 kilometers per hour, heavy rains and high sea waves. The hurricane caused power outages to more than 200,000 homes across Louisiana, and authorities evacuated thousands in low-lying areas. It also caused the shutdown of nearly 39% of oil production and half of natural gas production in the Gulf of Mexico yesterday, Wednesday, and 171 production platforms were evacuated. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. The state's public revenues amounted to more than 7 billion Omani riyals until the end of last July. At the conclusion of its work, the National Green Hydrogen Sector System Readiness Laboratory announces 26 national initiatives. And WIPO confirms filling of several new trademark applications for Omani frankincense products. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, thank you for watching. Have a lovely weekend.